evening. Thank you for being here. I want to double check that we have JB joining us online. And in the meantime, let's invite our student greeters forward. Hopefully you were able to say hello and we're greeted with a smile. If you wouldn't mind taking a second, introduce yourself, tell us where you go to school and maybe something exciting at Bunny, well, wherever you go to school. I won't spoil it.
Obviously this microphone is not to my height, but okay. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Audrina. I go to Bonnie Lake High School. I'm a sophomore, and something exciting that's happening for me right now is I just got inducted into NHS, so I'm exploring the world of volunteering. So I'm going to do some of that soon. So that's exciting for me.
Yay, congratulations.
Hello, my name is Mia O'Brien. I'm a senior at Bonnie Lake, and something exciting for me right now is we're getting into our winter week for committees, and I'm trying to start up a clothing drive.
Oh, right on. That's great. Awesome. Thank you both for being here this evening. Appreciate you. Enjoy these next few weeks of school. Good things happening. All right. Is JB on? Great. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in,
There's
Go
a
ahead.
there's a great donation on there from Sumner Rotary, which is very nice of them and much appreciated.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, excuse me, motion is approved and passes unanimously. Do I have a recommendation or the administration recommends that the board of directors approve the consent agenda items for the November 20th, 2024 board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I was also going to just say thank you for the donations that are included in this consent agenda. Yeah, please.
So during the consent items, you're going to notice a personnel recommendation. We're recommending that Marina Tanay, who is our existing capital projects manager, be promoted to our director of capital projects. And this is in support of the bond that just passed, if you haven't heard about that. But we want to make sure that we create an infrastructure that supports the work of Matt Galanians, who is our project manager, and the entire district. And we know that, hey, Marina, come on up. We were up at M&O today and we got to celebrate Marina. And I think we celebrated her last week and, oh, I don't know, a couple times over, right? But this is a promotion well-deserved. Marina has, you won't find anyone that loves this district more. She has had kids graduate from our schools. She loves this district. She knows our buildings inch by inch, step by step, and she is committed to doing not just a professional job, but an excellent job. Couldn't be more proud of this lady standing next to me who has, we've been through a few fires together and we came out, just a few, and couldn't be more excited to work with her in what the future is going to hold for this district. She has earned this promotion and we're just excited to offer it to her. So she is on the consent agenda for your approval. You want to, who are you, like you brought a little entourage with you. Yeah. So who do you have here?
I have my husband, Michael, and my son, Jeffrey, and good friends, John Boatman and his wife, Jeannie. And I know that Ernie and his wife, Elise, came also. Hey, Ernie. So, yeah, maybe a few people came. You know.
Yeah, right. Well, if you know Marina, you would come to something like this for her because this is a big day. Tomorrow she'll be a director. New office, new business cards, like new everything, right?
I have a business card in about 5 years.
I know, me either, right? And most importantly, you have to make sure that this one over here, like, behaves. Yes. So thanks for that. Yeah, in advance. But anyway, Marina Tanay, our new director of capital projects.
Thank you for that. No one can get you more excited about a chiller than Marina. So, right? All right. The motion has been seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All right. Recognition of staff, students, and community.
Yeah. Oops. So we're going to celebrate tonight because if you haven't heard, we passed a bond. Yeah. 64 point what? 0.5 now? 1.5. And I have been taught that decimals do matter a lot. When we were at 63.9, I was like, well, isn't that like 64 really? And they were like, well, I'm like, it's 64. But then with 64, it's like, it's 64. And then it just kept going up and up and up. But tonight we're going to celebrate. We're going to, I mean, we've been celebrating for quite some time. It hasn't certified yet, just so you know, but it will soon. And that'll be another day of celebration. But we have some people that we want to recognize tonight. We have more people that we'll recognize soon at a leadership team meeting. But this work took over a year to put together. And then between August 1st and November 5th, we had 96 days to educate and inform our community about what the future of this district not only needs, but should hold for every student in this district so that they're known, valued, and supported. And it's like, I did this calculation, it's like 2,304 hours. That's all we had. And we were like, well, let's go to fourth gear right away and just stay there. And if we can find fifth gear, we'll, those last couple weeks, that's what it felt like. But none of this would have been possible. This all started because, well, I have these like little cheesy awards, right? Because I do love a good costume, and I am not in costume, but I'm wearing the shirt. So are you. So are a lot of people. Steve Sholin had to go get his out of Goodwill. Because he's like, I thought we were done. I'm like, this shirt is going to live forever. But we couldn't have done this or even have moved forward without our board. And you took a big risk by saying, go forward with a bond amount and a bond measure that is now historic and is, I mean, it's unprecedented, the amount. So you're getting the Great Scott Award. Because really, back to the future, right, is meaning we want to build for the future. And now that we've passed this bond, Matt's going to make sure that we're ready for the future. But we had some of our future students who are going to benefit from this bond. Thank you. By, well, if you've ever like had elementary kids try to sign their name, this was a Herculean task in itself that Dr. Ament and Mr. Shear gladly did, but they went over to one of our schools that will benefit from the bond improvements, and they wanted to thank you. They wanted to thank our voters, and we thought that this gift to you would be great up there with all of your awards, School Board of the Year, all of the resolutions that you've earned as a board, because this is what a School Board of the Year does. You take a risk, and you go big, and you did, and it worked. But we could not have done this without you. So this goes to you. Thank you. Then next, what you did is you commissioned the district to hire Matt Galanians years ago. And he did this, I know it's really big, right? He did this needs assessment to make sure that we had great information to provide a committee, because we didn't just want them to have random information that wasn't well thought out. So he took a lot of time with the help of Marina in making sure that we understood what this district needed for the future. And he looked at all, he looked at everything for a long time. But now Matt is getting the Out of Time Award. If you know Matt, he like rebuilds cars. So we were hoping that maybe that could be like on one of your Yeah, but you're out of time, so you got to start building. Yes. So get those architects like in place and I don't know, bring in a bulldozer or something, or I don't know, tear something down just to make me feel good. Yes. So yeah, you got to do that. Well, because alongside him was Marina Tanay. Now oh, Marina, yes, I know. That was a very long time, but Marina is getting the Future Foundation Award because she is really the person that is going to make sure that we are building the foundation for these buildings, but also building the foundation for our future. I'm opening your presents, but you can't do that if you're hungry. So you have a lunchbox. Now, I don't really know what space zombies from Pluto are, but this is like, you know, the DeLorean. So there you are. Thank you, Marina Tanay. Is Shannon here? I didn't see Shannon Bingham. Is Mark Pressing online? Shannon Bingham is our demographer who just dug in. Hey, Shannon, you're there? He's in. Mark, you're there? You guys there?
Hello, good evening.
Hey, Mark, is that you?
That's me. Good evening, everybody.
Hey, it's good to hear your voice. Is Shannon with him?
No,
Okay. Hey, Mark, we just wanted to thank you for providing all of that critical data and analysis that we needed for the board to make a sound decision for the financial a part of this entire bond measure. 732 million is no joke. And you did it in such a way that kept the tax rate stable. It was understandable to our community. And I'm telling you, it's like you have almost a crystal ball of how this is all going to work out financially in terms of even the cash flow for the bond sale. So we wanted to give you the Einstein's Insight Award from Back to the Future, just for all of that critical analysis that you did. So appreciate your partnership and look forward to working with you really in the future as our financial advisor. So Mark Pressing is our financial advisor. Shannon Bingham is our demographer. And I'm telling you, that combination is like a brain trust. But hey, so thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
thank you very much, Dr. Denton. And the board of directors, I agree. What a tremendous effort you put in. This is a monumental day for the district and the community. These projects will benefit the community for long after we're here. Congratulations. This is the largest bond authorization approved in the state of Washington history for a school district. So you'd be very, very proud of that at a time that's very hard to pass bonds. So again, congratulations to the district. This is great. And thank you again, Dr. Dent.
Hey, thanks, Mark. We'll talk, I think, Monday.
Yes.
So I'll see you soon.
Okay.
And then 4 other people were incredibly instrumental. One is not here. He gets the DeLorean Driver Award. We have a little DeLorean for him. His name is Eric Wilson, and he is in the driver's seat. Like, he is the strategist. He provided the map, really precision, vision, determination. He steered this whole campaign. And I mean, really, he is the mastermind behind everything you see. That's why he is the DeLorean driver. Although you wanted to be one, and somebody said no. I know. That was a real DeLorean, though. So we'll make sure we thank Eric when we see him. Now, 2 people that, like, this is a 2 for 1 kind of thing, but 2 people that made Eric's vision happen get the Doc Brown Blueprint Award because they designed clear and visionary communication. I gotta show them this. So they call themselves the Wonder Twins. And guess what? Wonder Twins. So if Elle and Allison would come up. Hey, does anybody remember their names? Wow. That was so fast. I would totally be, no. Oh, Pet Monkey's name. Brower. Everything you see around you, every message that you've read, they are responsible for. Brilliant communication campaign, brilliant. Award-winning, it better win some awards because I'm telling you, they busted their backs to make sure that the communication was understandable, that it was clear. They worked non-stop for 96 days, weekends, and in the middle of all that, there was like school going on, right? So this was on top of what they normally do. Couldn't ask to work with two better communications people, and you also get a Marty McFly, just because like you made all the videos, and he really that's Marty. And Matt, you actually like dressed like that one day. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's like a real life Marty McFly. But seriously, awesome communication. Couldn't have done it without these two, and just appreciate them putting up with every little edit, every little, I don't really like the way that sounds. Or, well, maybe we could do it this way. And after a while, it's like, we're just going to do it my way. So, their way, not my way. But you just can ask for two better people. So thank you both. Oh. Marilee wants. Oh, well, I'm not one. Yeah. Means I'm the monkey. Okay, last person in that group of four, the Twin Pines Transformer. Do you remember what Twin Pines was? Stop. Anybody remember what that was? Who said that? Oh, Dave Cutts. You're right. It was the mall where the DeLorean took off. Marilee Hill Anderson. Come on up. So if you know Marilee, she is her gift, her strength, she is a joy to work with when it comes to community engagement. She totally transformed the community engagement piece around this bond and the whole campaign, sometimes painstakingly. You're the only one laughing because but this gift is appropriate because every time Marilee would come I'm not sure why I wrap these. Every time Marilee would come to my office, she would say, "Can I have some coffee?" So now you have your own Back to the Future mug. And truly, she was the one that made sure that our community was connected, that people were invited, that people were invited in from all aspects of our district. And what she produced at the end was a list of, I don't know, over 600 community partners that we have, just like in a database. So, well, and more than that too, right? But like, she totally transformed our community engagement and could not be more thankful and grateful. She also had to listen to me like, oh my God, what are we doing now? So she's also just a very good listener and a very good friend. I would hug you, but yeah, I know.
Thank you so much. And can I just make one statement? I have 4 of these shirts. I just didn't know I was supposed to wear it tonight, but I honestly, I have 4. So next time, boss. Thank you.
Hey, where's Steve? You could use that excuse. I have 4 of these shirts and I forgot to wear it. 2 more people and then we're done. I met one of our parents and her name was Tamara. She's from Crestwood and she is outstanding because in addition to our facts and information campaign that we poured our heart and soul into, there was another campaign going on next to us, chaired by Bill Pugh, who I'll get to in a second. But what Tamara did, come on up. She's getting the Save the Clock Tower Award, right? Because what these parents, well, remember what they did when they saved the clock, like they were handing out all sorts of pamphlets and they were like advocating, and like she is the one you want with you if you, I mean, if you ever want to get something done in terms of political action, you are the person that I will take with me, because she, man, I don't even know how many doors you knocked on, but she made the whole field organization happen for the citizens group. And if you did any canvassing, you know this woman, because she organized everything beautifully, and like every Saturday and Sunday, you just like, I mean, I would even ask her on Friday, hey, can I get a list? And it was like right there. I mean, you're amazing, truly.
I learned so much about how to do that, like genuinely. It was such a pleasure to get to knock on all the doors. I got to learn so much about the community as someone who's only lived here 6 years. I got to hear what people thought about our community in the 90s. So it was a lot of learning.
So your version of fun and my version of fun might be a little bit different, but really, you do get the Save the Clock Tower Awards. We have two little presents for you. One is a golden apple, because for teachers, we can't stand it, right? We love apples. And another one is, it's a sign. And these are also signatures of our little ones from Tahali Heights, who will benefit, really, probably from a new middle school and a new high school, either New Sumner High School or an expanded Bonnie Lake High School. And all of their little names are around it, and they're going to be around for a long, long time. So we want you to have this as a little memento. Yeah, thank you. Oh, sorry.
That a lot, that we should be better about pictures.
Okay.
Shouldn't we?
We did, but you know. All right, last one. The 1.21 gigawatts and flux capacitor award goes to Bill Pugh. So it wasn't enough that we passed 2 levies in February. 9 months later, we turned around and you agreed to help us run a $732 million bond. I'm not sure. And then we had 96 days. I don't even know how to thank you for that. Because between the two, I mean, you're almost up to $1 billion in what you've raised and helped bring into the school district. And you said yes. Both times. Well, but the flux capacitor, if you remember the movie, kept the whole thing going. And that's what you've done. I've always told people you have the Midas touch. Everything you touches turns to gold. And Proposition 1, done. Proposition 1 and 2 in February, done. You have secured the future of this district for years and left a legacy that will never be forgotten. So we don't want you to forget. So the first thing we have for you we have a beautiful plaque. Woo, very fancy. You know, in grateful appreciation for your years of service. Well, it feels like years, right? Your vision, leadership, dedication have guided us through challenges and triumphs alike, enriching the lives of countless students and families with deep respect and profound gratitude. We acknowledge your remarkable contributions to the Sumner-Bonney Lake District and its community. Bill Pugh, thank you. Oh, there's one more. And then, just so you remember who you did this for, I have one for you. And all of these little human beings will benefit from what you've given to this district. So there you go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. I get a gift.
We're gonna get for
Would you like to?
Sure.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna say no, $713 million.
Well, I've been blessed to be involved with the district, and in fact, I even moved back into Sumner, not only because I love Sumner, because I'd be in the district. And I think it took everybody that Lori has talked about, Dr. Dent, sorry. Um, um, it took everybody doing something really terrific to make this happen. But ultimately, the voters are the ones that did it. But I think there's two things that made them vote yes. The first one was the obvious need, Matt. I mean, and Marina, it was obvious. But the other one is that you don't vote yes just because there's need. You vote yes because you believe in the school district and you believe in their ability to take care of your kids. And that starts at the top and it works its way down through all the staff. And so board, superintendent, and the rest of the staff, if you didn't have great people in those positions, it doesn't matter whether you have the need or demand, it wouldn't have happened. So you're all to be really congratulated. Thank you.
Okay, one last final thing to wrap this up. Roger, you want to hit it? I know. Oh, I know. That's who we work for, right? That's always at the heart and the mission of this district, and that's what we will never forget. And Bill, thank you for making their future even brighter. Um, really just appreciate you and everyone that pitched in. We in this district serve with our head, our heart, and our hands. And this bond passing is a direct example of that leadership and that work. So let's celebrate a little bit. We got some food in the back, some water probably. Yeah, And then unless you all want to say something, I'll leave it, I'll, toss it back to you. And if you want to take a quick break, grab something to eat, and then get back to it.
All right, we'll go ahead and do the break first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Like how long?
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know, like 10,
10 minutes?
It's 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll work.
Yeah, probably. All right, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and continue our meeting at this time. Next up on the agenda is superintendent comments.
So I'm going to turn the mic over to David Brower, our Assistant Superintendent of all sorts of work.
Well, thank you. And what a great night to be here and to celebrate and all the amazing work that has been done by our team, our community, for our kids. I was asked recently, what do I love about working in this district? And one thing, I've never worked with a better team. And I've never worked with a group of people more devoted and committed to our kids. So tonight I get to talk about our team. And when doors closed, other doors open. Of course, we are sad to see Bang Parkinson go. She is inimitable. You never replace Bang Parkinson. You just celebrate Bang Parkinson. And then you follow Bang Parkinson. And tonight, I get to introduce somebody who's made a career of following Bang Parkinson as I introduce our new Chief Financial Officer, if I could be joined at the podium by Brian Verley. So Brian is a certified public accountant with 2 bachelor's degrees from University of California with concentrations in real estate and finance and accounting. He started his school finance career in California, working for 2 different districts. 5 years ago, moved up here to work for Bethel, had a short stint as a finance director after Bang had left, and then he became the chief financial officer there in Bethel, where he's been for the last 4 years, including working there tonight, trying to get things done, and then racing over here to be here. We are just so excited to have him be part of our team. Again, one of the things that we talked about is one of the things that he has just been passionate about is providing fiscal and financial stability in every district he's worked for. And so excited to have him come continue that work and continue building on the great work that Bang has done and continue as we move for the future. Brian Verley.
Thank you. I'll just say, I'm really excited to be starting here. I can't wait. So thank you for hiring me.
Thank you. Welcome, Brian. Any other superintendent comments, Dr. Dent? All right. How about some board member comments? Anyone want to kick us off? Paul?
Last Tuesday, I got to go to the Seattle Thunderbirds hockey game. And to my surprise, Mountain View Middle School's choir was there singing they started off with the Canadian anthem, and then they really ramped it up to the American anthem. And they did a great job. And I was just happy to see that. It was a good surprise for me. And then last Thursday, I went to Sumner High School's Alice in Wonderland. Great production. I have let you guys know, I love the fact that this district spends time, money, effort getting students involved in performing arts and choir and band and all the things that sometimes athletic people don't do, but sometimes athletic people do those things too. And it's just nice that we support lots of different things for different students. So thank you.
Well, one, I want to thank Lori for the wonderful celebration to start today. I know that it takes so much to do a campaign such as that and to be so successful. It's not a secret. I have a golf group of all former administrators, and I've been getting calls asking, how did you do it? Because we haven't. I look at I look at Erin because some of them live in her district. And, it made me think about how have we been so successful? And it took me all the way back to my first superintendent when I came to this district, who I went to him with an idea, and he said, "Is it good for kids?" And yeah, I think it is. Go forth, my son. Some of you knew him, so you know he'd say that. And a week later, I came back with a whole dossier of a program. And he looked at me and he said, "Is it good for kids?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Then I told you to do it." And it really made me think about where we're at. No value support, our work with the community, having that work done by a community group to look at the bond package and put that together, and just everything through Bill Pugh and so many, many people. And it just keeps reminding me that when you do the right thing for students, for staff, for the community, when you work together, all the great things that can happen. And they just looked at me like I was crazy or old when I was talking about this, but do the right thing. And I really respect that Lori and her team does that each and every day, and it filters throughout the whole district. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that.
Well said. I appreciate that. I think the only thing I would add on for me personally is just the immense gratitude I'm feeling, and also some humility. And just, you thanked numerous people tonight, and then there were so many other people too who played parts in this. And I know that you have not had a weekend or many evenings in the last few months either. And I was thinking, as you were giving out thematic awards, what your award might be. And I was thinking it might be the wind, because the wind in the movie was really motivating, right? They had this timeline and it was yeah, it was pushing. Yeah, it was really pushing. Yeah, no, it was really pushing. It was a motivating factor in the movie for progress. And I feel like you are very humble, but you are kind of the wind that keeps things moving forward with your incredible team who spent many, many hours outside of the workday working to make sure this happens. Mainly, no benefit really personally, other than the immense belief in this district and the desire to do what's really good for kids, to your point. So just gratitude for you, your team, and then of course just the voters in this community. I think that's the humbling part for me, is that people really came together to move this forward. And some people won't benefit at all, like their kids are in high school and the projects will be completed after they're gone. But there's a desire for something good in this community, and it's something that we can embrace and get behind, and it's hopeful. And I just really appreciate that. So I wanted to make sure we thanked voters too for their commitment and their just desire for good things for kids. So, Kevin?
Well, I think a lot of everything that I'm thinking has been said. I think that one of the things going through this campaign that I learned a lot and that was able to talk to voters about was what not only can we do for the district with this bond as far as the buildings go and that sort of thing, but it's the programs, the space, the actual physical space that we're now going to have to add more programs that our students can go out into the world with certifications in aerospace, and beyond all of those types of CTE type things. And, that's really what I tried to convey to people when they asked was it's about the future. And it, like you said, some students that won't benefit from it because they're already graduated, I keep running into Paul up in the UW campus where our daughters go, and seeing what students beyond high school are doing both at university and in the trades, and all of those things are directly tied back to what we can do with the space, the physical space we have. And I know that Dave's group will also be very happy with the modernization of certain things and getting rid of 1960s boilers and that sort of thing that will not only make their jobs easier, but also make our students more comfortable physically, because you can't learn if you're freezing. You can't learn if you're sweating. So I'm pretty excited about all of that. And I just want to end by saying thank you to all our staff, everybody that contributed to that. And I look forward to them getting a much deserved holiday break next week. So thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. Any other comments before we move on? Paul?
Yeah, most of you guys know I don't like wearing these matching shirts. So I'm here wearing this matching shirt to say thank you to all of you teachers that were out there holding signs and everybody else. That's how much it meant to me. Very proud of this district.
This is only the second time in how many years, Paul?
Yeah, 9 years. It was to say goodbye to Deb and today. I've been asked before and I usually say, no.
That is accurate. Yes. All right. Thank you. This brings us to audience comments. David?
All right. The board recognizes the value of public comments on education issues and the importance of involving members of the public in its meetings. Comments from the public are taken under board advisement and may or may not receive action at a future meeting. Topics including charges or complaints against employees, employment or dismissal of personnel, acquisition of real estate, lawyer-client relationships, campaigning, and parameters for negotiations should not be discussed in audience comments. Other information, questions, or problems can usually be addressed by district staff. The audience comment period will end when all registered speakers have been heard, and we ask that everyone adhere and understand the following guidelines. In order to maintain respect for all points of view, the school board requests no clapping, booing, or any other form of support or non-support. The board will not respond to comments, but will take them under advisement. Speakers should be courteous and professional. Please refrain from using profanity, vulgar language, threatening, or defamatory comments. As a reminder, individuals are not permitted to name a specific staff member, board member, or student during public comments. Failure to do so may result in board president or designee interrupting or ending the comment. Please remember that your words have impact and you, not the school district, are responsible for your words. We caution all speakers that it is possible that your statements could violate the rights of others under various laws, including laws protecting privacy and laws prohibiting defamation. If you're unsure of the legal effect of your remarks, please seek independent legal advice. In any case, we ask that you help us model for our students what a respectful and inclusive community looks and sounds like. The audience comment process is as follows. Speakers who registered by noon yesterday will be heard. If you're providing in-person comment, please come to the podium when your name is called and state your name. If you're providing, please address comments to the school board as a whole. You will have 3 minutes to speak and may not cede or give your time to another speaker. I will signal you with the bell when 1 minute remains. Our first speaker tonight is Christian Cager.
Okay, I'm ready. Good evening, board, superintendent, and assistants. Time and again, we've heard from legislatures that testimony and decision-making from students Time and again, we've heard from legislators that testimony from students makes an impact on their decision-making. Often, this is because students are uniquely able to provide direct access to what life is like inside classrooms. This makes student testimony highly valuable and influential. What is student representation? Student representation, at least in my school board, from FPSD, I represent Gates High School. We have one student per high school that has a representative that is selected by the staff and would represent and would and vote on all procedures that's going through. In my experience, student representation has provided genuine and caring relationships between students and board directors that help build their confidence and give them ownership of their education. I've also seen more and more students now recognizing the importance of representation that that allows them to meaningfully shape the educational experience, as well as helping students develop the district. Having school board representatives will foster a positive school environment where students feel more confident in their abilities and accelerate academic development. Me and thousands of other students hope you consider this. Thank you.
Our next audience comment is from Isaac Kim.
All right.
So my friend Christian there has been working with me for some time on this project. He goes from, as he said, Franklin Pierce, which is a great school district. And I've been in here my entire life. I went to I went to Maple Lawn, Sumner Middle School, and Sumner High School. And this community has always been really important to me. And from my perspective, I think casting the widest net is the best way to handle public policy, especially with kids who aren't always aware of all the opportunities in front of them, aren't always aware of FFA or ASB or different programs and clubs and extracurriculars such as that. I think it's important to hear student perspectives, especially in this instance where policy in this board is directly affecting their lives. And I'm just so grateful that I'm given this opportunity to speak, and the school board is allowing this platform because, again, I think it's so important to hear student perspective. And another thing I want to mention is the fact this is not some untested kind of out there idea. This has been implemented in districts all across Washington. From my understanding, there's over 50 or even 100 districts in this state that have some level of student representation like Franklin Pierce, and I think we can do it here. I mean, Ready for the Future is a great thing, and I'm very proud that 64% of voters voted for it. And I think this is a similar sort of initiative. You know, we're thinking about expanding opportunities for students, expanding the ability for students to participate in civic life. And I think that's fantastic. And I think it develops a relationship where students will not be working, feeling like the school and their administration is working against them, rather working with them and with their advice in mind. And I think that's incredibly important. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next audience comment is Teresa McClymans, who is not able to be here tonight. With that, that ends our audience comment for this evening.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to the business matters portion of our meeting this evening. First up, the administration recommends the board approve resolution 02-2425 out of endorsement assignment waiver for 14 educators for the 2024-2025 school year. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Thank you. And I thank the HR for trying to make this as short as possible, 14. My comment tonight's not on the number of 14, but I did notice that there were 4 that were emergency certificate students, or I'm sorry, emergency certificate staff members. I know sometimes that happens, but 4 out of 14, sometimes I would like maybe to see that as 1. I think it's important that we have credentialed staff members in front of our students, especially when they're long-term subs. And with that, it's the end of my comment.
Thanks, Paul. Any other further discussion? All right, the motion's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next resolution, the administration recommends the board approve resolution 03-2425, write-off uncollectible inactive child nutrition balances, authorizing Sumner-Bonney Lake School District to process uncollectible accounts according to board policy 6060. Do I hear a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The administration recommends the board approve resolution 04-2425 certification of the 2025 excess property taxes, authorizing Sumner-Bonney Lake School District to collect the amount of excess property taxes to be levied in year 2024 and collected in year 2025 for the district's general fund, debt service fund, and capital projects fund, and providing for related matters. Do I have a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. The administration recommends the board approve Resolution 05-2425, approving and adopting the 2024 through 2030 Sumner-Bonney Lake School District Capital Facility Plan. Do I hear a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Other than this was a pretty robust report. And obviously somebody put a lot of time and effort into it, and it's much appreciated. Yeah, it was 40. I think the one was 44 pages. Really, really detailed information that helps us know what's going on. So thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, the motion has been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. The administration recommends the board approve Resolution 06-2425 study and survey adoption as proposed at the public school board meeting held November 20th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to approve this recommendation?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. We have a policy up for second reading. Do I have a motion to approve the policies as listed? 2162, 2410, 3241, 4130, 6220, 6950, 6925.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. All right, this leads us to the presentation part of our meeting. Welcome, Mary Lee. You have an update on family and community engagement for us.
I do, and I'm going to take off my mask right now. I have to confess, before I get up in front of any group of people or I'm with people, I feel like I should have something in my hand to hand out, right? And try to, tell you about something. It's been a wonderful 2 months, and if community engagement had a plan, it was really about being a part of this bond campaign, which was a joy, and really made community engagement come to life. As you know, I'm Marilee Hill Anderson, Director of Community Engagement and Strategic Partnerships, and I've been here for 33 years. So when you come, you get to work for a place that you love and continue to grow and hopefully benefit students in the work that you're doing. The first slide, oh, am I changing? Are you? Oh, I am supposed to change them. Okay. Hey, all right. Family, you'll see that phrase that says systems move at the speed of relationships. I think bonds pass when your district's constituents trust you, when we have relationship with them, when they know we listen, right? 96 events meant we were out there listening to community. Systems move at the speed of relationships. Things happen, and that's why I gave this presentation that title. And oh, it worked, yes. For those of you that don't know me well, I don't have a great relationship with technology, but that's okay. Even at 33 years in, I'm always growing. The overview tonight really of our work rests in best practices and the pillars and the policies that we're built on. If I could have our audience hear this, I know you know this, we're all about meaningfully involving parents as partners in education. There's nobody more precious than children that parents send to us, right? We are partners in the educational process, and that meaningful involvement is just crucial. If you look through every federal title that several of us manage and have to implement, from state procedures, it's all about meaningfully involving parents in that process. And I just gave you 3 examples of policies, that one of which you approved the update to tonight, Title I, that the words meaningfully involve parents, families, and the broader community sprinkled all through that legislation. So that's why we're in this business, one of the reasons. And engagement and partnerships, the red thread connecting our work. Lori and I have talked a lot about the red thread. I tried to pull out from our strategic plan specific goals that I could cite that really underscores our work. But really and truly, if you imagine our strategic plans with the pages of goals and objectives, you have to look at the pillars underneath that. And pillar B was safe culture and strong partnerships. Again, building that trust amongst students, staff, families, and community is really nurtured when we all take responsibility for student success, and we really believe that our stakeholders have to be meaningfully involved, and we trust their guidance too. And then for my own department, part of what I do is oversee our Family Resource Center, and we want to see continued growth in the numbers of people we're serving too. And I hope you saw some of that in the numbers that we're about to review. But that's the red thread that connects our work. Now, I'm going to get some comments from you and others about how text heavy this slide is, but I thought, how can I give the board some kind of basis of understanding about why we need to be in this work? Because quite frankly, family engagement isn't well funded from the state budget or federal budget. Quite frankly, addressing all the things that come to us from kids and families isn't well funded, right? The funding for school risk factors, as we see there are dollars for that. But when we're talking about the kinds of services our students need, we have to be in partnership with the community. And I look way back to Dr. Donald Eisman's picture up there. 33 years ago when he hired me, he said, and you've echoed this, Lori, merely you've got to go out there and you've got to engage the community and build partnerships because we can't do this by ourselves. And this is the reason why, folks. This is about a risk and protective factor matrix of about 50 years worth of research out of the University of Washington. And the arrow doesn't work here, but please look at that column we call school dropout. If you were to look at this research based on the work of Doctors Hawkins and Catalano out of University of Washington, they set out to ask themselves, what do we find in research that helps us understand the risk factors for substance abuse and violence? That's why all of those boxes in those columns are checked. But what they found out is that some of those risk factors were also very prevalent in things like delinquency, teen pregnancy, mental health, depression, anxiety, but certainly school dropout. And I drew 2 arrows, and I have to draw arrows because I couldn't get Mr. Brower to do those cool animations that he does, right, in slides. I should have come to you. But I want you to see that when we talk about McKinney-Vento programs, students experiencing homelessness and moving quite a bit, when we talk about 1 in 3 of our kids almost living with economic deprivation, when their families are really struggling to survive, look at what that sets our kids up. It's a risk factor that sets our kids up at times for school failure. So that's why we're in this business. We are working really hard at those school risk factors, but we have to get other partners to help us address issues that block academic achievement and the other domains of our kids' lives. Passionate about that. And I wanted you to see just a little glimpse of the research behind that. Kids live in multiple domains. Schools are one of them. And so numbers to consider. I'm no longer the McKinney-Vento liaison, but I still work almost daily with Andy Mangan, who's our coordinator, and Josh Egpalza. Very, very committed to our kids that suffer just a lot of instability. Where am I going to sleep tonight? And I want you to take a look at that. 237 referrals, 22-23, jumped by 60 the year after. And right now, year to date, we're at 225. 3 months into the school year. And what's really interesting is if we look at our free and reduced lunch averages, which we always take a look at on the 31st of October every year per Shar Marison, we're seeing that as being kind of flat, but we're not seeing the rates of homelessness be flat. We've got some issues that are all across America, but certainly in this community. It's called escalating rent prices that disproportionately, I'm going to say it out loud, impacts our single parent families with children. And so often they are moms with single parents who are moms with kids. And I'm just passionate about supporting those families. And so how do we do that? We do that in many ways. And before I go further, I only look around the room for my colleagues. They call me the Director of Strategic Partnerships. I'm not really. I'm doing some partnerships in the area of health and human services. But every single department director, every single principal that gets up here behind a microphone and talks to you has tons of partnerships, right? So know that kind of my area of work has, because of my career here, has really focused in on these kind of support services for students. And maybe the difference is that we're not paying for these services. These are the partners that have come around us to try to support our students. We're going to dive into the Family Center a little bit more, but the Communities for Families Coalition, we're going to have our 30th annual Community Summit, 32 years of operating this spring. And we're still doing an annual summit. We're doing youth forums. I wanted our students that spoke tonight to know we are very active in terms of listening to the voices of our youth at our high schools, especially. The why, we have 52 families that got free 3-month vouchers. Think about that if you live in your car or you're staying at the Sumner Motor Inn and you've got a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old. And those kids deserve some access to being out and moving and wiggling and feeling like kids as well. I just can't tell you enough about how much we appreciate the why. The city of Sumner and Bonnie Lake have been steadfast in their support of our Family Resource Center in helping us to fund that coordinator position. We'll talk about that in a second. And I can't say enough about Rotary. I am on the board of Sumner Rotary Club, but tell them I said nice things about our Rotary Club, right? The $6,000 donation we got tonight will help us with back to school efforts. It helps us provide those emergency kinds of resources. We bought $200 worth of gift cards to make sure that all of our kids in the JROTC program could get haircuts because we have some McKinney-Vento students in that program. They were not allowed to carry the flag because their hair was beyond the edge of their caps. Not on our watch, and Rotary helps us make that happen. That's just a tiny thing of the many things that Rotary does. Aha! Well, we have to have some fun. We have to have some great pictures, right? So this whole community engagement thing, when it comes to being at the end of your bond campaign and you're just dog tired, and Eric Wilson says, you must be out there on Halloween. You must be giving out candy. You must be giving out those flyers. You have to keep your foot on that gas pedal. We delivered. Right there, zap in the corner, Superintendent Dent, because she didn't have enough to do that day. She came out with a few of us that were being kind of crazy. We probably, I don't know, 1,000 kids and parents in the parking lot at the Gordon Family YMCA, gave out tons of flyers. And we had a Bonnie Lake High School student right above that helping us as well. First time I'd ever decorated my car for trunk or treat. I've been indoctrinated now into that practice. And then the beautiful Elle Wormuth right with me. That was from the Street of Treats at Sumner. And let me tell you, parents believe you when you are like all wet and you look like a drowned rat and you're handing them a bond flyer. I had this one dad say, why are you out here? You're getting all wet. I said, this is how important this is. And and that's a compelling statement, right? I think we went through, I don't know, between those events, like, I don't know, 100 pounds of candy. I mean, really like hundreds and thousands of people, but it was a lot of fun. And my son even got into the act and was waving our signs. So another night out with mom, right? We have an active social life. But anyways, we will soon. Excuse me, but we just had a lot of fun. And the slide or the picture quadrant next, we just have some faithful CFF members that have been with us for years. We have some staff at the kind of to the right on the top. Violetta, who's our new person who comes in and subs and gives us some extra hours, funded through the health department, comes in. She's writing thank you notes with Maggie Garcia and Amy Risberger, who's Amy and Maggie both work for Sound Outreach as our financial and employment coaches. My work wives, Elle and Allison, are right there. I grabbed them in a picture that they knew would show up somewhere. And then finally, in that bottom corner, Rotary again, we just gave out dictionaries to hundreds, anyways, of third graders around the district. And even though we think dictionaries, really, they've got Chromebooks, those kids love those dictionaries. Oh my gosh. But this is just what community engagement looks like. And then we have a few more pictures. Really excited when they said, gosh, we just really shouldn't take on Imagination Library. I knew that Dolly Parton would be very upset with us unless we did. And so a year and a half ago, a few of us went and saw Dolly, and we joined with the United Way. We now have over 1,300 children 0 to 5 in the community getting free books once a month up until their 5th birthday. And we're going to try to grow that as well. But on this special day, this was September 23rd this year, we had United Way and Dr. Willie Stewart on the United Way board come in. Lori was there too, and they gave out over 150 free books to our kindergarten children. And Willie Stewart read a story. We had others that are pictured there also came back and read stories to all the different kindergartners at the ELC. And it was pretty precious. Tamara, did you enjoy that? It was fun, right? Especially if you're here and you don't get to be with kids. It was just a great day. And United Way and Amazon just donated books for all of the preschool children at the ELC as well to have some reading fun. So we may do part 2 to that. And then finally, again, especially for our students that are here, those are just pictures from our Bonnie Lake High School Youth Forum, part of our CFF work. We've had amazing participation. 30 to 35 people come every month at CFF, and we recruit others. You'll see several of the Bonnie Lake City staff there, Mayor Carter, Judge Joanna Daniels. We have Chief Barry there, Andy Megan, our McKinney-Vento coordinator. We're all there to listen to kids, talk about the strengths and the needs of the community. They voted. We gave them 2 votes instead of 1, right? So they put their dots up, and then they come up with strategies to talk about what they wish adults in the community would join them with in terms of the problems to address. One of the most priceless things that came out of our youth forum last year, and Lori will probably know what I'm going to say, but last year, I have to tell you, if you want to know what makes me want to stand out in the rain and hand out fires, it happened at the Sumner High School forum last spring. When we had students stand up, they'd been in small groups, they'd come up with their topics, and one of the key concerns out of many of the groups of kids we talked to was the condition of the old part of Sumner High School. And this just slays me to this day. It said that one student stood up and said, if you tell us that you want to know us, value us, and support us, have you taken a look at the buckets in the hallway? Have you seen the water come through the ceiling? That's how you're going to show us that you really know and value us. And if there was ever a clarion call to get behind this bond, it was like, I'm there, because our kids will see what we do and then they'll believe what we say, right? And then what we heard was that comment echoed because the 2 people that were facilitating the groups where kids said that were 2 members of our Sumner City Council. So when Lori got up and did the Sumner City Council presentation, one of the 96, Pat Cole and Carla Bowen stood up and they said, you know, this is exactly what our students were telling us, that we really need this high school to be completed. And that was just worth its weight in gold because they heard it from our kids first and they saw us following through on our promise to know, value, and support our kids. So now we're going to get to a few more text-heavy slides. Talk about our Sumner-Bonney Lake Family Resource Center. Both of our cities, our district, and the health department are key partners in funding the core person in that family center, which is our coordinator. What does our family center provide? So we've kind of taken broad brush community engagement. Now we're going down a little bit more deeply to people that need a little bit more support. Just know that our systems are overburdened, especially our systems that are looking to provide shelter and housing. At any given moment, and this goes to the complicated systems, in August, last time I looked at the county data, there were 4,430 people in the priority pool, kids and families in Pierce County, waiting for some kind of housing help and shelter. We had several families living in cars. I mean, it's really hard to get them through that system. And the family center staff, be it myself or Ida or Violetta, who's now joining us, or the partners we've brought in, we are looking at how can we help people navigate these systems that would just pretty much kill any of us off trying to get through, especially if you are in crisis. And we absolutely, too, want to provide anything we can that's tangible, and we want to serve as a unit here in the district that can help leverage more support and maximize the kinds of donations we're getting from community. I've talked about our team there. Just today, Ardielli spent 2 hours with a family, a mom and a dad. One of the parents is awaiting a double organ transplant and is in the process of being evicted. And one of our partnerships, which I'll tell you about in a second, saved the day and helped this family get caught up with rent and utilities. I mean, and Ardielli was amazing, speaking Spanish and being right there with that family as they were dealing with difficult circumstances. For you, board members, and for our audience, these are very conservative estimate of the kinds of things that families are bringing to us as their top concerns. Leading the charge there are diaper bank numbers. We have the scoop on poop. We just have a lot of families with little ones in the community, right? And we just got done in the last few days, Karen Finnegan and I and Beth and Martina, Sharon and I talked about we have a golden opportunity to reach the 0 through 5 crowd that is most in need, right? They come in for diapers. Let's talk about developmental milestones. Let's talk about Imagination Library. Let's talk about, oh, you're worried? Let's get you to some early intervention services, right? And everybody who came in ended up getting some kind of supplies. But this is just what families were asking of us. And if I could go to that last column, you'll see some italicized print. Even after all of the generosity of the food banks, we have counselors asking us to bring them food because kids come to them for food pantry items. So we made sure that the middle school and the high school here had some goods that were collected by Faith Covenant Church and donated to us. After we gave out 1,000 pairs of shoes at 3 back to school events, we had 59 more kids that needed shoes, and we're seeing that over again. Right now, the holiday season, more backpacks went out. That coats for counselors coming down for their kids actually is now at about 100. That's how much it's increased in a week. In holiday gifts, between 2 sites, we helped about 1,200 students have something else under the tree for the holidays, in partnership with Sumner Police Department, East Pierce Fire, Open Life, and the amazing Gordon Family Y. So I'll try to talk fast. I know I'm probably running out of time. Again, a text-heavy slide, but how do we do this? Many of you that have known me over the years know that I've written a number of grants. I've tried to build those partnerships and relationships by being out in community. But we really are coming to a time where we can't be the expert in all things. So I pounded on the door and said, Reach Center, Tacoma Community House, will you please help us come out to Eastern Pierce County? We have families struggling with homelessness. And they included us and those other districts, and just a wonderful program, the HSSP, Homeless Student Stability Program, ACT program. And I just wanted you to see, they got money from the Washington State Department of Commerce, but the impact of that is that that single grant helped us keep 18 kids in school, 18 lives that were made more stable, 18 students that drove allocations to our district, 18 students that have a much better chance of academic achievement. We know that, look at the risk factors. They covered the move-in costs. I can't believe it, 84 nights at the Sumner Motor Inn, quite frankly, of shelter, because we can't find shelter for our families. We had a family, 3 kids, a mom that lived in their car for 3 months because they couldn't afford to get their dog into the Sumner Motor Inn, and they wouldn't leave their dog. They lost everything, right? So this is kind of what walks in our door every day, but this program has really, really helped us. Again, I just told you that story of Artielli, helped us again today. So grateful to the Reach Center. And then I won't go through all of these, but these are the kinds of, again, wonderful partnerships we have. The Helping Hand House Pierce County Housing Funds program, that's a little more difficult to work with because there's a strict income guideline with our parents, but we are trying one at a time to get families housed, rent arrears paid off, eviction notices dealt with through Helping Hand House. Great to be in a partnership with them. Extremely appreciative of the county for funding that. Talked about Center for Strong Families. Artielli Dominguez Maya. Beth has helped through her funding make sure that Artielli didn't have to go away when the county had a gap in funding, and we're seeing the outpouring of benefit from that, the stories that I'm telling. We don't give a lot of credit to just an incredible employee of ours, Oksana Kuzmenko-Latimer. She's a 32-hour-a-week para at Lake Ridge Middle School, but I've got her for about 5 times a week, and she is like the go-to person for our families that speak Ukrainian and Russian. When they're at a back-to-school event and we're not understanding what's being said, even with our Google Translate, Oksana walks up and you just see the tension melt from a mom's face. We got to keep Oksana when this grant runs out, but we just love her, and she's just amazing, very effective. I didn't want Abigail to get nervous when she saw Tacoma Pro Bono up there. We're not dispensing free legal advice, but we are helping families to go through a screening to see if they'd be eligible for some free legal services. So proud of our Tacoma Area Literacy Council group. Again, a group we're not paying anything for, but we let them use Portable 706 and 707. 25 to 30 adults every single week for 2 years, desperate to really improve their English skills. And the reason that program is thriving is because Sumner-Bonney Lake School District said, yes, we're going to let you come and use that space. And then again, the Gordon Family Y, the voucher system is just pretty amazing. What's going well? I'm really excited to tell you, and Bang and Brian, I want you to hear this, that even though for many years we got $30,000 a year from the health department, looks like they're doubling that for next year to help us pay for our family center coordinator position. We're going to take 45 of that for the coordinator position, up from 30, and then leave 15,000 so we can have Violetta hopefully continue as a sub for the next year. We are just very grateful that we've been recommended for funding that we had to really compete for this year. They had about $500,000 in requests, but we still got our allocation of $35,000. Hopefully the council will approve that in their budget. All the wonderful donations that we've gotten, and I really want to give a shout out to the Sumner-Bonney Lake Education Association. Year after year, they donate $3,500 a year toward our back to school work, and then many, many other donations as well. Trilogy serves senior citizens up in the Tahali development. Wonderful, wonderful folks. And our numbers are going up. We're up about 25% over the number of people that we served last year, with more people that will serve, we know, toward the end of the year. And we were able to present not only about our family center, but about homelessness in general and how we encounter that with our students in school to the Pierce County Select Committee on Homelessness. I was able to work with 3 other districts, got us together. We made a pretty strong statement about why schools should be considered for grants and funding and help in supporting McKinney-Vento work. Some opportunities for growth. I'm so excited. We will come back and tell you more about this, but we've had 2 really important programs knock on our door. Early Head Start, the opportunity for 11 children. I see you smiling, kindergarten teacher. 11 children to get home visiting services and some play groups, if we can find space at our family center to do that. Early intervention, prenatal through their 3rd birthday. The first time in 33 years I have heard the words, we're going to bring early Head Start to a community that wasn't in Tacoma or Franklin Pierce. The Women, Infant, Children program, Multicare knocked on our door and said, could you help us establish an outstation so that families with very young children could see someone and continue to get nutrition and support for healthy youth development. And then we'll talk about Workforce Center a little later. We continue to have some issues with workflow and subbing when somebody needs to be gone, but we're working on that. Data collection as well. I have to look for opportunities to increase our case management time. We have too many parents in crisis, and we have to make sure that as we're trying to invest parents or resources with our families, that we provide not only the resource, but the help, the hand-holding for parents as they move through their crisis. And right now, we're kind of giving out information more than we're able to handhold. So that's a real high priority for me. But we're very excited, and I really want to thank Michelle Lewis too, because she's helping us through some of her staff work on our data collection. And last but not least, probably some of our favorite events of the year. All-time high, 1,867 children and youth received backpacks, supplies, and shoes. Almost 700 families took home great information about all the
Any questions?
No questions.
Yeah, amazing work.
Yeah.
Truly.
I'm always impressed with how many people you and, the people that support you can effectively help. Um, when we talk about graduation rates and we're trying to get to that last couple percentage points to get to 100, we can see the data and we can trace it all the way back to when they were 0 to 3. And one of the things I wrote down through all that great information was the fact that you're not only helping our community, but you're able to talk about early intervention, because what they do from 0 to 3, 4, 5, 6 years old directly affects their ability to graduate. And we're seeing that as we're getting to 100%. So that was one of the takeaways I had. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, there were two things that really stood out to me. That was the synergy when you said about talking about the diaper bank, and then just the synergy and the opportunities you look for to engage those parents when they come in and get those students very young engaged right away. I know you work on a shoestring budget. For those people who know me, know I like shoestring budgets. And you make the most of it, and I appreciate it. I also like the fact you highlighted the Tacoma Area Literacy Council, that they are meeting with 25 people, and these are our buildings are community resources, and it seems to me that's a great way to be used.
Thank you, Marley. Good work. All right, for information only, Kelly Den has provided information on alternative learning experiences and online learning programs. Thank you, Kelly. Also important work there. This leads us to board discussion. Anyone have a topic for discussion? No? No, Kevin? Paul?
And for me,
Okay. JB, anything for discussion?
Hi, everybody. I just kind of a comment I wanted to, can you guys hear me? Okay. I want to thank Christian and Isaac for their presentation. And it's kind of interesting because I was able to attend a Disparities in Healthcare conference put on by the Fred Hutch earlier. And one of the things that it was earlier this week, and one of the things that they said, which really stuck out to me, and I think Christian and Isaac made that point today in their comments, was actually a saying that was or a slogan from the South African Disabilities Association, but it was that nothing about us without us is for us. And I think when I heard that originally, I thought a lot about the board and district, and that we are working towards providing opportunities and looking for solutions for others. And I do think that we do a great job of living that that motto, and I think that it's a proof in how we were able to get our bond passed, because we did involve a lot of people in the community for a year ahead of time with the community council that looked at all of what needed to be done. So I do think we do a great job, but it was interesting to have Christian and Isaac talk about their perspective, and it just kind of fit right in with that. And so I just wanted to mention that.
Thanks, JB. Bill, do you have anything for discussion? All right. Well, with that, our next regularly scheduled board meeting is Wednesday, December 18th, right here at 6 p.m. in the central office boardroom. Our meeting is adjourned.